Good evening. This is CTV News for October 17th. I'm Janine Samuels.
And I'm Patricia Malone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, he was a Baltimore attorney and civil rights activist who would serve in the political arena and lead an investigation into the Trump administration. Congressman Elijah Cummings died early this morning. He's being remembered tonight as a fighter and advocate for justice. Byron Scott has the story.
I saw that Elijah Cummings, had passed away. I really couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
Paulette Jones of the Prince George's Department of Public Works and Transportation has known Elijah Cummings for more than 20 years and worked for him for 5 years as his political director.
He's a warrior. We lost a true warrior today.
But understand that Black Lives Matter.
Cummings died early this morning in hospice care from complications due to a lengthy illness. Flags at government buildings in Prince George's and at the nation's capital have been lowered to half staff. And inside the Capitol, these comments today from longtime colleagues.
He was a good friend. He was one of Maryland's favorite sons, and to my mind, he was a hero for our times, and we're going to miss his sense of dignity and his sense of principle.
He was loved in the city of Baltimore. At a time of great distress in the city of Baltimore, it was Elijah Cummings in the streets, bringing calm and peace.
Cummings was first elected to the Maryland General Assembly in 1982 and served 14 years. He ran for Congress in 1995, won, and has been serving ever since.
And he not only fought for democracy in Baltimore City, he fought for democracy in our country. And that truly will be a legacy for him.
As chair of the House Committee on Oversight and Reform, he was a key figure in the Trump impeachment inquiry. In response, the president blamed all of Baltimore's problems on Cummings, but today in a tweet, the president called him a highly respected political leader. He was 68 years old.
And so he fought for a lot of the wrongs that we've had in this country. And my prayer is that his legacy will live on.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
Thank you, Byron. A Brentwood man who pleaded guilty to stabbing his wife to death is sentenced to 40 years in prison. 26-year-old Erwin Lorenzo Sanchez pled down to second-degree felony murder of 24-year-old Lisbeth Mendez. The incident occurred on New Year's Day 2018 after the couple had an argument over another man. State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy spoke today on the sentencing, reminding those in abusive relationships that support and resources are available.
So this concludes this case. It certainly does not conclude the pain and suffering for the family of Lisbeth Garcia. And so we are heartbroken, and we continue to be heartbroken for her family. But this was a tragic incident, but today we got as much justice as we could in the court of law. We also want to let victims of domestic violence to know that we are here for them, that we will pursue their cases, that we will provide them with the support that they need in order to stay the course.
Braveboy adds that anyone needing legal assistance can contact the Family Justice Center. That number is 301-780-8008.
Former Prince George's delegate Alana Gaines pleads guilty to federal wire fraud charges. Gaines was accused of misappropriating more than $22,000 in campaign funds for personal expenses, using the money to pay for dental care, hairstylists, and fast food. This morning, she was asked to surrender her passport at the U.S. District Courthouse in Greenbelt.
Okay, I want to start off by saying I take full responsibility for what I've done. I don't want any of you to judge the Maryland General Assembly by that. There are honorable people working there. I want to apologize to them for putting myself in this position. Thank you.
Ms. Gaines maintained a campaign account, a bank account as well as a PayPal account, and she solicited contributions to those campaign accounts from people who donated to those accounts on the understanding that she would be using those funds in order to make sure that she was reelected into office and maintained leadership positions within the Maryland General Assembly. But she misappropriated at least $22,000 and change of that money for her own personal use. The people who donated to her campaign funds did not anticipate that she would be using that money to pay for personal expenses like purchases on Amazon and dental care.
Now, federal guidelines say Gaines faces 8 to 14 months in prison. Her sentencing is scheduled for January 3rd, 2020.
Vice President Mike Pence announces Turkey has agreed to a 5-day ceasefire in Syria. The country suspended its military operations to allow Kurdish forces to leave a safe zone in northern Syria with the aid of U.S. forces. The announcement comes after the Vice President met with Turkish President Erdogan today. As a result of the deal, the U.S. won't impose additional sanctions.
Our administration has already been in contact with Syrian Defense Forces, and we have already begun to facilitate their safe withdrawal from the nearly 20-mile wide safe zone area south of the Turkish border in Syria.
Turkey has also agreed to a permanent ceasefire, but it says it won't withdraw its troops.